I think I'm live. Oh, that's close. I got close all of a sudden. Who knows in this world of lives, hey? There we go. How are you going? Gosh, it's super duper close. Way closer than I thought. Wait and see if anyone's going to join us tonight. So tonight we have Embark pre-training number 3. It's number 3 of 4 pre-trainings. So next Sunday night is the last pre-training before we begin Embark on Wednesday. Hi Janine, how are you going? So good to see you. Hi Katie, how are you? How are you? So lovely to see these beautiful women. So I'm gathering you can hear me okay. You know I'm never too sure. So tonight, as part of the Embark pre-trainings, we are looking at magnetism. So part of what Hi Adele. Adele's in Embark. Hi Chloe. Chloe's in Embark. I love these dedicated women who show up for learning. Me too. I love learning too. Thanks, Katie. Thank you for letting me know you can hear me. So the reason why magnetism is part of a pre-training as opposed to I had to get very selective about when I changed Embark from first round to the second round. I had to be like, oh my God, I have to pull out that baby and that baby because I've got so much more I've got to do in this section here. So the reason why magnetism is here is part of Embark is teaching you how to maneuver and manipulate your own energy within your own body. And then when you understand the orchestration and the movement of that you are able to then take it outside of you and influence someone in front of you or even an entire room of people. Hello, beautiful Amelia. Happy Sunday to you too. So what I want you to understand, and I know if you're in Honey Club or any of the containers that I've been in with you, that you'll understand that energy, feminine energy can bless a space at 5%, or feminine energy can bless a space at 100%. So there's something rejuvenating and extraordinary about feminine energy. Feminine energy at the end of the day really is the energy of life force, of creation. Anything that's created, that's made manifest from energy is in and of itself, in essence, a feminine thing, feminine creation. So there's a way to use your feminine energy that gets to feel delicious and enticing and draws towards you that which you desire. It doesn't matter if that's a particular experience, if it's a lover or if it's an ideal client, it doesn't, or something else you're manifesting in the universe, it doesn't matter what it is. It's the feminine energy that draws towards, it's the energy of magnetism. The how of what we get into that is, or how we get into that is that when you understand your feminine energy, let me think if I'm saying this the right way around. You have an energy, and on the other side of you is an energy at an equal force that's in attraction, repulsion, or neutrality with you. So this entire universe is constructed upon laws of physics. So either we're going to be in attraction, repulsion, or neutrality. So when you understand the energetic forces that exist and construct the universal laws upon which we all are navigated by, then you can understand them within your body and you can understand them within the context of relationship. And any time you're in energetic communication with another, it's a form of relationship. So there's great power that comes with understanding that your feminine energy is what draws an energetic resonance towards you. It's the energy of the muse or inspiration. So if you're wanting for clients to be, or people around you to be inspired and lit up and seduced into their own deliciousness and change, then it's actually the feminine energy that's going to create that beautiful, nourishing blessing that someone else gets to walk in and feel renewed and feel blessed by. It's the beautiful masculine essence that can guide, can lead down a path or a particular trajectory, can breathe open and create opening and surrender in the person that's in front of you. So when you understand the two layers of polarity and the two different energetic forces that exist within you, it puts you in a very powerful position, because what it means is when you can orchestrate your own body, you can begin to unconsciously, or for others, unconsciously orchestrate the environment in which you're in. So you could walk into a room or into a space that you are holding and decide, is this someone that needs to open and experience some relaxation and juicy deliciousness, or is someone who needs to be invigorated and rejuvenated and enlivened? And in which case you begin to work out how to move that energy within you and influence then the force of attraction that's on the other side of you, which is another human being, and it becomes a very powerful place to be. So magnetism at the end of the day, I think, is really not that you have it or don't have it. It's not something you have or don't have. I think it's just a learnt ability to evoke energetic polarity and charisma within yourself and another human. And there's a few things that we're going to talk about as the foundations for this, so that when we're in Embark, we can really get into the nuts and bolts of how to move your own energy. And I'll be working with you on how to do that and what it feels like in your own body. So that's my gift, is I'm able to feel your body and its movement of energy and teach you how to move your own energy. I don't do it for you. I'm not interested in being a healer that does something for you. I'm interested in being a healer that can show you how to use something for the rest of your life, which is why this pre-training is out of it, so that we have more time so that I can spend it with your body. Because I really want you to be able to understand it in your body. When we're talking about it in our head, there's only so much you can take in, as opposed to when, and if you've ever had a consult with me, if you sit with me and I can guide your body, when you understand it in your body, it becomes something that's embodied, that makes sense, that you understand the pathway and what you have to do in its nuanced way to transform the way that energy moves through your own body. So we're talking about the basics here, so that then when we're in Embark, we can, of course, because you know I love it, go deeper, dive deeper, and really get into your body. What's blocking it, what's moving it, where does it need transitioning, and all of those delicious things. So, where do we want to start? Where do I want to start? I think I want to start with adornment. So you've probably heard me talk about adornment before, but I don't think we can talk about it enough. So adornment is a very ancient feminine art form and practice. If you think about any place of worship throughout our human history, there's something innate that we recognize beauty is devotional and sacred and divine. It's why places of worship are so beautiful. It's why we bring offerings that are sensory in their nature and amplify your experience of beauty to places of worship. It's why we create beautiful spaces in which to conduct ceremony. There's something intoxicatingly entwined with the feminine and the goddess and beauty. But the problem is that that's, like so many things, been changed in what it actually means throughout our history, to the point now where either it's going to be perverted to the point that beauty is only skin deep, or rejecting all levels of surface beauty in the belief that it diminishes the greatness of your mind or how beautiful you are as an inner light. And both of those things are to some extent a rejection of the true feminine within you and within the world. So what I want you to start thinking about adornment as, and I know probably many of you already will if you are in Honey Club or any other devotional container with me, is that adornment and the act of adorning your body should be something where you consider that it's an amplification of how you already feel. It's not about trying to plaster cast or immortalize you. It's never about trying to freeze frame you or be one way or make you something that you don't genuinely feel. But it's about taking enough devotional time and self-worth with your own human temple, this body, that you check in with it and go, how do I wish to feel today? How do I wish others to feel me today? How is my adornment of this external surface, which is we're all, all of the research says we read people in 3 seconds. Body language and adornment has a powerful impact on what becomes possible in the moments that follow any interactions. So how do I wish to be felt? And how do I wish to feel? Because just like music, what we adorn our body with also has a vibration. So when I add something like a gold shiny necklace, anything that's shiny and amplifies, I go, oh, that feels just like me. Or I wear this color or a dress because I like the way it sachets and I feel something when I'm in it. Adornment is the desire to amplify and almost reveal more of your internal light in an external expression. And when we do that, we actually amplify our own feelings and sensations, and true feminine art is an amplification of any sensation and feeling. And the more that light is amplified, the more we're felt by people outside of us. And imagine if you could be felt already, have an influence and an impact on somebody's day and the way in which they're blessed by your presence before you've even opened your mouth. Just because of your energy, and the art of amplification is part of that. So on the days when you really are feeling horrid and you just want to hide away and wear tracky dacks and sit on the couch with a hot water bottle, beautiful. How can you be so seduced by the track pant and the hot water bottle and the slouchy jumper that you feel delicious even in that? There's something divine about really diving into that which your body is asking, or the divine through you, through your body, is asking to be expressed in this world. So it's not about trying to be something, but it is about taking the time to honor the temple, because when you pray, you learn to worship. This body is on the way. And to be embodied requires that you vibrate from the body, because this is kind of like a guitar body. It amplifies the sound or the plucking of the string or the conducting of that particular vibration or frequency. This body is designed to amplify it. And every time you add on, you amplify that particular string or note or chorus or orchestra. So you might as well use that gift, because you get to feel better in the process too, rather than pretending it doesn't exist or it's not part of it. Love you a good old tracky dack day. Me too. But the best thing I ever did was invest in tracky pants that I actually really liked. That was also delicious. Yes, Chloe, I am so excited to dive into body connection too. It's my most favorite thing. Oh, Amy, you want to learn this too? Yeah. Hello, beautiful Tracy. Yeah, oh yeah, teach you how to be your own healer. Oh my goodness, yes. I look at every person in front of me and think you are a self-healing, self-cleaning, self-everything. It's not my job to do anything to you. I just happen to have worked out how to play the orchestra of energy, and I can feel your body and know what vibration opens you up like that. That's what I want to teach. That's what I want to teach. But it's hard. I'm not very good at talking about it because I feel it in my body. So, yes. The best, Amelia. Yeah. Trackies are. Love them. Okay. So, adornment is part of magnetism because of the way that it affects and amplifies your energy and your vibration. I wrote down here under adornment, it's my only note under adornment. States become traits. Have you heard that one before? It plays in my head often. States become traits. It's kind of part of that whole fake it till you make it. So there is something to be said for if you wake up and you're like, ugh, I'm feeling like this. But really what I would love to be feeling is the seduction of my lover's touch behind me, or to be a completely connected and open-hearted mother, or to walk down the street and feel a sense of blessing and belonging. Then the state that you practice putting yourself into becomes the trait that you vibrate at. And adornment is absolutely part of that. So you change what you wear and you change how you feel. So they are a self-looping mechanism. The next one that I'm going to go to is breath. We do not breathe well, and we do not breathe deep enough. Even just as you are, breathe a little bit deeper. And you want to take it a step further. Let go of your belly. Let go. Soft parts are supposed to be soft, particularly in a feminine body. And yet we're taught to tuck and hold, and then we wonder why we can't breathe and we're suffocating. Just breathe. The deeper you breathe, the more magnetic you'll become. I promise. The deeper you breathe, the more your presence will be felt by another human. And children included, right? You can use all of this in relationship, and all of this in work and career, and all of this in parenthood. The interesting thing with breath is that there's two different ways to breathe. One is very feminine and one is very masculine. And depending on what you're wanting to evoke in the client in front of you, it will depend on which style of breath you use and what you're focusing on breathing into. So feminine beings are exceptionally responsive to breath. Have you ever been around a man or a masculine core being? In my book, I call them mountains because there's something just delicious about that presence and stillness. And their breath is almost so steady and slow and deep. There's almost part of you that feels like, I just want to move into that and match it. Can you recall a time when you felt like that? Breath. Breathe deeply, and every feminine being in your world and vicinity will be responsive to you. But when you get stuck in your own stuff, you stop breathing so deeply. And this breath starts to rise up. And this first vertebrae starts to rise up. And every feminine being around you will feel that, and she will pull back in response to that. You evoke openness with your breath, and you evoke closure with your breath. So if you get nothing else from this live tonight, please breathe. Please practice breathing around any and every feminine being that is around you, and you will watch and notice instantaneously how extraordinarily responsive they are to your breath. It's really quite glorious. And how profound to know that just by you feeling good in vibrating and emitting an energy from your adornment and present embodied state. And all you have to do is breathe where you feel more delicious and more centered and more calm and more grounded. That they could be healed. Don't you think that's amazing? Just by you opening up the space and they co-regulate to your nervous system frequency, that they open further than they can open themselves with the ability to be met in presence and breath and depth and holding, where no one's holding back or holding in. That's medicine. Can't underestimate. This is why I spent a long time on magnetism and the ability to evoke in person and online and in holding of space, because there's so much that happens before you even say a word. Like, you get to be the medicine simply by opening the door to a particular frequency and vibration, and they regulate their nervous system and their energetic system to that. There's a lot of freedom in that. But you'll close down and seize up if you go, but I don't know enough. Because it doesn't come from here. It comes from way down in here. And this knows. Can't see my hands because this screen is way smaller than I thought it was going to be. Here we are. Do not have your phone out is magnetism number 2 or 3, wherever we are. And hydrate. The more you drink, the more hydrated you are, the greater your capacity to move energy through your body and be present. So the deeper your breath, the deeper your presence. The more hydrated you are, the deeper your presence. And at the end of the day, what is most healing for people is the knowledge that your presence to their inner experience, combined with the already transformative power of the energy that you create a space for, they work out their own magic in that. It's amazing. This is when I have said to my kids their whole lives, interesting people are interested in others. Generally don't talk about themselves or particularly interested in themselves. They're far more conversational on other people. I wish I'd pulled out this quote. I'll see if I can find it for next week. It's this great quote that I read from, I think it was like one of the great 1930 politicians in the US. Can't remember. Anyway, it was some fantastic quote around... I'm not even going to try and make it up because I'm going to do a terrible job. But it was literally that the best conversationalists in the whole world are the ones that have spent their whole time fascinated and interested in the other. Because to be seen, to be felt, to be met, to be experienced in a place of appreciation and non-judgment, to have someone ask you questions about what you truly value in life and the way you see life, that is intoxicating. So part of being magnetic is understanding the power of seeing, reading, hearing and feeling someone else's value system, which will likely be different to yours. Or you could have the same value, but it exists in a different form. There's no judgment. And you guide the conversation by looping it back round to how it is impactful in their top values. Think about this with your partner. They might hate the fact that you love parenting so much. You want to talk about parenting all the time and the latest research and the da-da-da-da-da, and they're like, oh God. But maybe they just want to talk about their surfboard all the time and the latest surfer and the latest, I don't even know. Who's in the NBA draft? That's what I hear in my house a lot. And I'm like, oh God, I don't even want to know. But the truth is, interesting people are just interested in others. So instead of getting frustrated, I turn that into fascination. Because I could choose to be in the state that becomes a trait of frustration, or I could choose to be in the state that becomes a trait of fascination. And fascination is far more magnetic. And when you speak in somebody else's value and you let them feel you feeling them, then it becomes a win-win, and seducing them into what you want or desire or would like to exist in this world is very effortless from there. It is manipulation in its light form because it's both. True manipulation, you watch the children who do it the best, are the ones that so beautifully have read, and think about if you have a child who's like this, they have already read the room and the people in it. They already understand the currency of every single person that's there, you included. And when they want something, they know exactly who to ask, exactly how to conduct their body language, their tone, their words, and will speak in the other person's values. Surely you have children that do that. Don't you think it's magic? And even though you know that they're wrapping around their finger, it feels good. That's true seduction. It's a win-win. You get to feel good in the process of getting that which you desire. And so do they. No one loses. It's just an amplification of experience. And any resistance to that becomes a beautiful play around, okay, I wonder how I can seduce you into that. What's your currency? What's your value? What type of energy do you need for me to open you up? Little con artists, Shelley. Yes, indeed. Oh, I love it. I think it's magic. It's wild to watch my daughter do this. I know! I love it so much. I actually, sometimes I watch these kids and I just want to applaud. I'm pretty sure sometimes I've watched my children do it and I'm like, bravo, that was magnificent. Yes, I want to do that. Even though it might be, can I have the, I don't know, 6th chocolate chip cookie? And I'm like, yes, you can. That was amazing. How amazing to live in a world where there's kind of no such thing as no and win and lose. It just gets to be a beautiful, seductive, energy enhancing, delicious experience of play where you're just learning how to love, or what type of love this person needs in front of you in order for them to pop open and feel amazing. That's an ecstatic experience. Do you get all your clients to work out their values? Is it covered deeply in Embark? Yes, because we did that, didn't we, Adele? No, not always. Not always. Sometimes it's really necessary in client spaces when I'm working in the space of relationship, because often, largely, a lot of the clashes that occur, and in parenting as well, a lot of the clashes that occur are simply value clashes or value judgments, because we see the world through our values. So when I can see that there's a clash or a judgment happening because of a projection or a value projection, then I go deeply into values and looking at that person's and whoever else is involved in that scenario. Because it's a humbling, heart-opening process to see the world through that. So do we cover it deeply in Embark? Not deeply in terms of values, but we will. It's pretty simple when you understand it. So we'll be talking about it as part of embodied coaching and how to read and understand the dynamics that are at play below the surface and how to work with different steps with clients. I think you'll find it less foggy than when you're doing it for yourself. Because when you're doing it for yourself, it's hard, right? Wood for the trees. And you did it magnificently well. So it's not that hard to understand, but yes, we will be spending time on it. And if, of course, as anything in Embark, if anyone's foggy, I don't want you to be foggy. I want you to walk out of it going, oh, whoa, I felt that deeply. Something just like went through my soul. So if it doesn't feel like that, then we'll just keep finding a way till it does. And Bridget's doing Embark this time too, and she's a values queen. So maybe she'd even do a values live. She's coming in to do a live on, got a few guest lives happening in there actually, which is really exciting because we have story weaving with Jill. It's going to be magic. And we have Bridget coming in and she's doing hierarchy dismantling, so pedestal and pit dismantling. But maybe we'll get her to add in a little bit of values. And then we have Kasha Burke who's coming in to do past life blocks that can be playing out in life patterns as they exist now. How exciting is that? It's pretty exciting. I'm excited. So, appreciate another person's values. Watch them. They'll be talking about them. It's the first thing they'll say. It's the first thing they'll ask you. It's the way they'll see the world. It's what they do with their entire day that's most important to them. I mean, it's extraordinary. And watch the magicians at play as they work out the win-win. It's magic. And try some of that on for yourself instead of trying to get into like a loggerheads. How can I seduce this person into wanting this too? How can I learn your love language? How can I open you with my breath or my presence or my energy so that it just gets to feel delicious for you? Yeah, I know, Liz, I'm so excited to do them too. It really is going to be magic. I'm not joking, it's going to be amazing. I'm really excited about it. All right. What else have I got? Had flirtation on there, but we might have that conversation in Embark. I think it's a part of a bigger one, maybe. The other thing that's really important with magnetism is tone. So there's a particular frequency of tone that when you're animating your masculine comes from much lower, hollower place in your body. And when you're able to hit that tone, there's something about it that, again, like breath, just opens feminine beings in front of you. And it's magnetic. So you know the old adage, well, it's not what you said, it's how you said it. And largely most men that hear that are like, what? I don't even know what that means. Or so unaware you're like, what? How did I say it? You need to learn how to seduce your kids into their car seats. Anyone can do it. You can do it, Mills. Car seats. Brutal. We start school tomorrow, so maybe everyone's gearing up for that. So there's something magic about tone, and when you understand that magnetism really is just the result of a learned set and habituated states that become traits, so just simply ways of being, it becomes very easy just to add them on, and it almost becomes a checklist. Have I got my energy? Have I amplified my breathing? Have I sensed what type of breath they need? Have I used my tone? Like it just becomes a checklist. And all of a sudden, what was possible before opened up a whole new world you didn't even know about. It's amazing. So tone is exceptionally important when conveying magnetism. And just slow the fuck down. Just slow down. Whatever you're doing, slow it down. Slow down your words. Slow down your breath. Slow down your heartbeat. Slow down your mind. And magnetism will exist in that space by virtue of that. It's a lingering. I would say to you, if you wanted to practice magnetism, that you would practice lingering, that you would practice holding tension, the good kind of tension, the tension that doesn't need to be dissipated or eliminated from your body straight away. The type of tension that longs and doesn't require instant gratification. Being able to hold and expand your ability to hold tension points within your body, or the energy of chemistry within your body, the abundance, the creation force, is your capacity to, if you're animating your masculine because you're wanting to animate your feminine, the feminine in the woman in front of you, or person, could be a man in front of you, then your ability to hold that tension and almost dissolve it so that you're so emptied, you just continue to invite it, and they get to just experience more and go further. Delicious. And if you're in your feminine and you're wanting to open a pathway to feeling and create an experience that they themselves want to move into, same thing. I just faded out as I went totally energetic then. This is why I need notes. So at the end of the day, I have one more thing on there actually on my magnetism list. 2 more, but one isn't possible. No, that's not true. 1 is possible online. So I have 2 more on there. Touch. Anytime you touch your body, you remind yourself to be here. So touching your own body ignites your feminine. Offering touch to another person automatically amplifies the energetic experience of whatever it is that you're conducting in that space. So touch can be extremely magnetic. And the last one would be posture. So if you are really wanting to hold an incredible container that can hold anything, so there's nothing for this person in front of you to hide or shy or shame or judge, because it's such a beautiful holding space of non-attachment and delicious, like, just bring it, I got it. Doesn't matter how big it is, I'm bigger, I've got it. Then posture is extremely important. And what you want is a beautiful, strong, straight spine if you're holding the masculine frame. Think of it like a dance partner. But what you don't want is a zipped up, tight and tension-filled front of your body. The front of your body receives and conducts. Beautiful, strong spine. You can hold anything, nothing is bigger than you. But a soft and open front of your body. And I can love at the same time as being strong. It's true strength. Strength that asks the environment or the person in front of them to stop, to change, to morph, to shut down, to be other than they are, is not true freedom, and it is not true strength. True strength is the willingness to be open to any next moment, knowing it's never bigger than you and you can hold it all. And you can roll with it. doesn't require a set of circumstances in order for you to experience your own freedom. Not sure if I got too spiritual with you then. Sometimes you got to bring me down. So, magnetism. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 things there, but I think I've spoken about more tonight. I haven't even got breath on there. Okay, 6 things. I did not write that down. Magnetism, touch, tone, posture, energy, adornment, breath. It's just a learned set of ways of being with a deeply insightful understanding of what is happening below the surface as you conduct energy, how that influences the energy outside of you, because you are always a force of attraction or repulsion, right? Our entire world is constructed upon magnetic forces. It's what physics is, the attraction between 2 objects or energies or forces. So there's your energy, there's the energy outside of you, and they are in relationship. So when you understand that the way in which you open up spaces and places for your loved ones and for the people that you work with becomes exceptionally different. And magnetism adds the feminine ability to draw towards you and draw in. And it adds the very powerful ability to make people feel good. Because people remember not what you say, but how you make them feel, right? Imagine leaving a space like you're sprinkling. I love that. Like, that's what I think of blessings as. I'm leaving a space better than I found it, like sprinkling glitter. You get to be blessed, and you get to be blessed, and we all get to be blessed, because energy just amplifies when it's in union, because in relationship with that magnetic force of attraction, 1 + 1 = 3. So energy is infinite when you know its source. And magnetism is, I still think, one of the most powerful parenting tools that I know. And certainly the most profound tool for understanding how to hold space. And I want to say hold women, but of course my work involves men now too. So just to hold the magnificence of the human condition. But most definitely, if you are working with feminine beings, and largely feminine beings who don't really know what the feminine is and largely live in their masculine, being able to have a space where they can really experience the truth of who they are and begin to open that up is, I don't even know the word for it. Healing? I don't know. I'm not sure if I just froze. I think I froze. Perhaps I was paused in time. I don't even know if you heard that. So that's what I wanted you to be able to think about as an Embark pre-training, and to sit with it so that when we start to dive deeper into what the practice of each one of those, I don't even know what they are, ways of being are, that it makes more sense. And when it comes to energy play, that it becomes, and I say energy play because I feel like I get to play with you and we get to play together in this. Really, that's what Tantra is. It's the ability to create new energy from the coming together of 2 different energies. You can be tantric with the sun, and you can be tantric with other people, and you don't even have to use that word if it makes you feel a bit funny. In energetic exchange, I call it play because it's super fun, and you get to feel really good and lit up and enlivened. And imagine feeling that with clients. Like, I've had women work, oh my God, now I have so much more energy. I'm like, I know. Because it doesn't just come from here. If you understand how to continually energetically plug in, connect, and refuel, the work that you do isn't a drain on your life. Like, work is one of the greatest joys in my life. I love it. I love it. And I get to feel amazing afterwards. I had a session with this beautiful man. Must have been last weekend, and we got to the end of the session. He was like, "Oh my God, do you do this every day?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh God, how are you not exhausted?" I'm like, "Oh my God, because I love it. I feel amazing." And I thought, oh, what a gift. What a gift to do this work and understand so beautifully the mechanics of the universe that are operating below the surface, and to feel rejuvenated and lit up and enlivened in the process of that. What a gift. Rather than it feeling burdensome and hard, it gets to feel easeful and delicious. And imagine you go to work and you get to feel easeful and delicious. What do you reckon you're going to do with that energy when you come home? Would you be a more easeful and delicious mum? Would you be a more easeful and delicious lover? Yes. So I think there's so many gifts that come from understanding energy and polarity, and how to really be embodied with it. Not embodied in this throwaway term that is like pop culture now. But to really understand it in your body, like really understand it in your body. What a gift. So I'm excited to play. Adele, if women are more in their masculine, would you want to do things that attract the masculine more than the feminine? No. Because there's a difference between a true masculine, so masculine at their core, it's the truth of who they are, and a learned way of being, which is a habituation rather than a truth. And it's kind of like a false, hard plaster cast that sits over the top, but the truth of who they are, where they get to feel lit up, enlivened and delicious, is in their feminine. So if you're a true feminine being, of course you can have a masculine that works profoundly well for you. But if you don't balance that by spending more time in your natural polarity and state, you will become exhausted in repulsion with other masculine energies and forces. And did I say exhausted already? I can't remember. Depleted. It's like running a car with no oil. At some point, it breaks down, and it's probably worse for wear. So beautiful to sit quietly and listen to you dive deep. So calming and wonderful. Oh, I'm so glad. And this is not deep at all. So Chloe, you are in for a treat. All right, I'm probably gonna head off, go spend some time with my lover. We have a date. Hopefully you are also booking in dates. Needs to be on sexy structure before it gets super duper sexy. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. If you've got any questions, please let me know. If you would really love to come and join Embark, this is the last time ever. It will be $2,222, so $22.22 for 6 months of what I promise you will be life-changing for your energy and what effect that has in your work in the world, or your soul's calling, as you work out what that even means, or the integration of that. If you haven't looked at some of the interviews with some of the graduates, it's really worth doing that, because you get to really hear their experience of, oh God, I didn't know what it was going to be, and then it was this, and it had this effect on my life, and it's really quite profound. Even bearing witness just to another woman's opening is amazing. So I would say to you, go and have a look at those, or you can do a payment plan for $355 a month for 6 months. And it is 6 months together. So if you are really super duper ready, let's do sacred space, holding space, energy and polarity, and coaching, really actually knowing how to coach somebody as opposed to not. So I'll drop the link below here, but thank you for being here. I do really love the opportunity to just talk about the things I love too. So I'll say I hope you play with magnetism, and I hope you high five your children who just do it so well. I'll say yeah.